Are we live?
Yeah, we're live. I got to start an audio file real quick. We're a little unofficial. It's what happens when you're watching Rutgers and Howard. You just get so distracted by everything. You just can't focus. We're okay. Got Rutgers, Howard. Rutgers already up 7-0. I'll start an audio file here. Welcome into the first game night edition of Hand Raised Guys, presented by Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating. It's dark in here for some reason. I think because
Why is it so dark?
Well,
is it the storm outside?
Yeah, I think it's because we've been so used to having the sunshine inside. And there's no sun. It's actually stormed in Oxford.
It's a little dark, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a good bit dark. Yeah, and they're on. I don't know.
Is there a light there? Does this work?
Yeah, you can turn it on over there. Yep. Maybe that'll help a little bit. And then see if those the light rings are on full. No, not there. That's closet light. There you go. There you go. That's a little better. Comer Heating Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating, different names, same great products and services. Yeah, a lot better. Same great products and services. If you live in Oxford, Batesville, Tupelo, or the surrounding area, call our friends at Comer. 662-801-1777. If you live in Hernando, Memphis, South Haven, the surrounding areas, give our friends at Southern a call. 662-429-4429. I'm in the Clark Ford Studios. Clark Ford's in Amory, Mississippi, 662-257-1900. Call that number. Ask for our buddy Corey Clark. Tell Corey what Ford product you're looking for. He will send you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours. It's right to the bottom line. No hassle, no haggle. You get your quote, and the rest is up to you. You can shop that quote around. You can do what I've done, what I recommend that you do, and that's hop into a Clark Ford today. 662-257-1900. Guests join throughout the day, of course, and you guys can call in tonight on the Campbell Clinic Hotline. From fractures and sports injuries to complex spine and limb conditions, the pediatric orthopedic physicians at Campbell Clinic in Oxford are the only specialized pediatric orthopedic team in North Mississippi, providing expert care for growing bodies. Visit campbellclinicoxford.com to schedule an appointment or call 901-759-3111. This will be the Friday Blue Sky Live, in case you don't have enough to listen to from us at MPW Digital. Chase, what's going on with Blue Sky?
You're going to come into town this weekend. Hope you stop in, fill up for gas on the way in, way out of town. Beginning tomorrow, maybe some lunch specials, $5.69. A couple sides, bread. Fountain drinks, you know the score by now for that. And it's the Sweet Daddy's location here in Oxford. You know that also you can maybe let them help out if you need something else for your tailgate, ribs, pulled pork. Again, tons of options there at Blue Sky in Oxford. We're all about the food these days.
Yeah. So, by the way, that's your quick U hack.
I just got a text from
one Tyler
telling me that.
We had McCready and Siskey. We didn't make it rain Thursday. Our picks this afternoon, one of several shows that's been on the network. Hope a lot of people were in the streams today. Appreciate all of you very much. A lot of that's already in podcast form. The MPW Digital Extra still needs to be put in podcast form. Chase is going to have to yank it off the YouTube. But the Pete's Pigskin Preview is up both in YouTube form and in podcast form. The Butcher versus the Dance Instructor, same. Both on podcast form, and you can watch on YouTube as well.
Look at you.
I know.
Busy day.
It's been a busy day. Already started working on next week's shows. I've talked to some of our friends at GoMiddle.com, part of the Rivals Network. Got Middle Tennessee State next week. Looking ahead.
Is that still Casey Bowman?
That is not who I talked to. Please don't ask me who, because I can't remember exactly at this point.
I should be nice and not tell the story I wanted to tell.
Yeah, let's not.
You know what I'm talking about.
Let's get through the week.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Let's just get through the week. We got a week to get through. Got to focus. Got to turn the page. After that, we'll go turn our attention to Wake.
Let's not borrow trouble for no reason on a Thursday night. Okay,
let's not. No reason. Just run the damn ball. Run the ball. That's where we are. So
Lane is going to run the damn ball Saturday.
I think so. I think Lane's going to follow my. I think Lane's doing me a favor, and maybe Lane knows that the column's halfway written, and he's like, you know what, I'm gonna follow through for my guy Neal.
Keep it on the ground. Keep that clock churning.
Nobody's ever won a championship on August the 31st, but by God, you can lose one that day. So, keep that in mind. The committee won't care if you beat Furman 71-0 or 41-3. They won't care at all.
No.
Not even the slightest hint of caring. So get in, get out, get on to the next, which is middle.
GoMiddle.com. Went to our resident Wendy's on the way over today. I ordered 4 different flavors of Wendy's for us to have a bit of a mukbang with you here this evening, if you will, in YouTube parlance. I've got garlic parm.
Yeah.
I have buffalo.
Yep.
I have honey barbecue.
Okay.
And I have spicy ghost pepper.
Hell yeah.
Those are the 4 that I have for my boys at our people at Wendy's. They took care of it. I watched them being made. I watched the sauce go in and get completely coated in the goodness. I saw that.
So you saw them covered in sauce.
Literally, I did. I saw it covered in sauce as the script.
So what
says.
you're saying is you saw them take the crispy and saucy nugs that we already loved and turn them up to 11.
I did.
Is that what you saw?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You didn't even choose between the flavors. You got them all. Buffalo.
I have 4 flavors. Yes.
Buffalo, honey barbecue.
I mean, they have a spicy version of a couple flavors, and I didn't feel the need to be redundant. I thought we could get enough of the essence without doubling up.
You're not a real heat seeker.
I got the ghost pepper.
Okay, so you are a real heat seeker.
Yes.
Got the spicy ghost pepper, only on Wendy's signature nugs. I don't even have to dare you because you already did it.
Don't have to dare me.
7 delicious ways to try the nugs you already love. Pick a flavor, grab some extra napkins, prepare to nug like you've never nugged before. For a whole new way to nug, it's got to be Wendy's.
I'm drinking a carbonated beverage, which I never do, but I knew I needed something to drink for the nuggets. And I'll be honest, part of me went, I'm not just ordering 4 things of nuggets. I need, like, it's almost like if you go do something, you need to buy something else to offset it.
Yeah.
I was like, can I just get a cup too? I'll put something in it. It's a diet root beer, so it's decaffeinated.
Okay.
I mean, so it's carbonated, but that's the most of it's 0 calorie, 0 caffeine. So
no caffeine in a diet root beer? Really? Okay.
Yeah. So we're all right there. It's all right. I'm not a soda person. Like, it's kind of out of the norm, but
yeah.
I didn't. Nothing. Wendy's. I love all of you. This is a fast food thought for the most part.
Okay.
I'm always a little scared of the unsweet tea.
Be careful, Lane.
I'm no kidding. I'm always a little scared of the unsweet tea.
Yeah.
And that's what was causing the thing. I was like, just because that gets brewed and made and sit, and I'm like, I don't know, because that's typically what I order out somewhere is unsweet tea.
I mean, a little salmonella. Never hurt anybody.
Yeah, I'm good. So it's all good. Let's get to it. Let's get it out of the way. Because I mean, they are warm. It feels better than cold, it seems like.
As a rule.
Yeah.
Right?
I got you a fork.
Okay.
Got me a fork. Because they're saucy. Look, they're covered in sauce.
Yeah.
So I was careful. No, I didn't pull a Lane. Lane is now a verb. The ones on top, I think I was told they were the ghost pepper. So we're going to leave those off to the side
those for a minute.
the end. Yeah. Those are not what we got. Let's see. This is the buffalo.
Okay.
I'm sorry if the rattling is very loud in the ears of the audio people. That's got to be garlic parm, which is not one of my flavors typically. Garlic parm is not something I'm fond of in wings most of the time.
No, not usually. Would
you care for ranch with this?
I don't.
Okay.
No.
I don't either, but I got it just in case. I didn't know if that was a thing. So we're going to start with
usually
the honey.
If we ever order wings and stuff, I'll get ranch just because everybody else in my family eats ranch. No, I have nothing against ranch. I just don't.
I did not tell the wonderful woman at Wendy's that we were sponsored or endorsed by Wendy's in any way. I did not feel that was relevant to the conversation.
Do you think she would have even known what you were talking about?
Not a chance in hell.
No way.
No. Neither would the 2 other gentlemen that were in line with me at that point.
No.
One guy was just pissed because I was slowing everything down because you have to actually make the nuggets, and he just wanted some damn ketchup.
Yeah.
And it was taking a minute to get the ketchup, and I kind of like,
hey, what do you want me to do?
It's on the menu, so here we are.
Were you at Secret Wendy's?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Can't tell you where it's at.
No, I know that. It's a secret.
All right. The honey barbecue is up first.
Okay.
Be careful around the computer.
Yeah, that would not be fun.
No, they're cheap. It was not even $20 for all this. This is the flavor Brian said was fire the other day. He was very.
It's really good. I mean, seriously, it's very good. Hand me a napkin.
Can.
Thanks. No, it's really good. I like that.
In all seriousness, this is not even a them sponsoring thing. I don't eat much sauce on nuggets or strips or anything.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised that tasted as good as it is being covered in it. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know.
I'm the same way.
That was okay.
Mm-hmm.
That was completely okay. Yeah, nothing wrong with that at all. I mean, you can have the other one. I'm gonna keep my palate to one apiece at the moment.
As you sip your Diet root beer. I mean, sure. Okay.
I'm going to clear the...
Anything you say, chef.
Oh, Neal's getting on the Peloton by like 9 o'clock tonight after eating 4 chicken nuggets.
This is the first thing I've eaten today except for a protein bar. Did
you intentionally prepare?
No, I just didn't get a chance to eat. I got busy.
All right, this is the garlic parm.
I was going to have those Trader Joe carne asada burrito things.
Are they good?
They're good, but I looked up and it was 1:30, and I hadn't heated it up yet, and I knew Tyler would be in the door within 10 minutes, and I was like, screw it. Which are the?
This is garlic parm. You can tell.
I can smell the garlic. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, this I think this is going to be my least favorite. I just don't like garlic parm.
I like the other much better. I mean,
you don't get enough garlic flavor. It's kind of like a tease of garlic. And the Parmesan, you can taste it, but I don't feel like I want a Parmesan chicken nugget. Once you chew for a second, you're getting almost all Parmesan.
Yeah. I thought for a minute there was some lemon there, but there's not. It's just Parmesan.
It's two-note. It's the very front end has a little bit of garlic taste. And then once it sits for a minute, you're getting nothing but Parmesan.
You sort of get the butterscotch at the end, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oak, cherry, leather. UFC removed all Pelotons from their facilities. Why? What happened? Some kind of sponsorship kerfuffle?
The political correctness thingy.
Peloton?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It's in front of you.
Oh, sorry.
You're okay.
Yeah, like if we're grading on a 5 scale, I'm going to give the honey barbecue like a 4. Like it was good. Honey barbecue was 4.
Yeah.
That's like a 2.5. Like you got to really like the garlic parm.
I might even go a shade higher than the 4, like 4 point something, and then
it was legitimately good.
I might go a little lower than the 2.5 on the other.
Yes, I did not ask Wes Taylor for any wine recommendations for our saucy nugs today.
He would have given us some.
Oh, sure. All right, this is just straight buffalo, so we know what to expect.
Okay.
Here.
Easily my favorite, just flavor.
Buffalo. Mm-hmm. Can you have bad buffalo sauce? Or is it like because of the flavor, is it pretty okay all the time?
I mean, it's pretty okay all the time, but you can mess it up.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's good. You got the buffalo flavor.
Yeah, it's real good.
That is a completely passable buffalo sauce.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's a solid 4. Maybe higher. Nothing wrong with that.
That's good.
Yeah, it's nothing wrong with that. It's good.
Again, just because it's covered doesn't automatically screw it up.
And had we eaten it right away, it would be even better because it's cooled a little. No, it's perfect. The heat actually on that is great.
Yeah, it's a good flavor.
Mm-hmm.
That's a better buffalo sauce than some wing places buffalo sauce I've had.
Oh, yeah.
I've had much worse buffalo sauce at actual wing places.
Yeah, I'm probably going to go get another one of those in a minute.
Okay.
That was really good.
Keep the top open there. You can do that. Remember, spicy ghost pepper is how we're closing.
Okay.
If I have to pick one or the other, it's blue cheese, but I typically don't eat either. No.
Yeah, I think I'm the same way. But I never do either one.
I don't eat ranch dressing. I know everybody gets all worked up by that, but I don't.
I mean, I like it fine. It's not something I ever go select.
She kind of welded that top on, or the ghost pepper did something.
The ghost pepper did it.
Did something to stick it on there. You can see the ghost pepper because it has little flakes on the top of the. Do you think that? I don't know the answer to this. Is the ghost pepper a completely unique sauce, or is it buffalo sauce that has a ghost pepper additive to the top?
That's my guess.
You think it has whatever those flakes are on the top?
That would be my guess. Completely uneducated.
They have a sandwich with the ghost pepper also, if you would like that.
How hot?
I'll try to go.
Had gone.
Not a buffalo flavor at all.
It's not. It's almost got some ranch in it. You taste the ranch in it?
Mm-hmm. I get why it's ghost pepper because there is a heat.
Mm-hmm.
But the actual flavor is very mild.
We got some heat. Goodness.
But I'm talking about the base coat is mild. It's got the pepper on top of something that's pretty bland.
The heat came late.
You caught a flake because he handles hot food pretty well, and we got a couple tears coming here.
That was hot.
That got you.
It did. It was hot.
Wow.
You didn't get hot like that?
I mean, it's hot, but I'm not dying.
I'm not dying either. I like this is my favorite, buffalo.
Is that what you're eating?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, now I'm curious if I just missed out.
Try again. I definitely got a hot one.
No, I mean, for people that are listening to this tomorrow, I mean, he coughed and teared up. That was...
It just got me right in the back of my throat. I know that's what she said. Sorry.
He's from North Louisiana, not the same thing.
Yeah, but we eat a lot.
Those might as well be 4 different countries.
We eat a lot of spicy food, though. I mean, Carson and I put jalapenos on everything.
Yeah, you handle jalapenos way better than I do.
I'm impressed. I'd go back for all of the above, except I wouldn't do the garlic parm. And I'm sure there are people who would take the garlic parm. Everybody has
people
their own
who like garlic parm.
Yeah, sure. That's not my favorite.
Yeah, I started that with that's my least favorite.
Yeah. You got a little sweat on your lip there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's got some heat to it.
I'm trying to make sure I don't touch my eyes or anything with my hands after that.
Yep.
I can leave the other one for you.
I'm good.
No, thanks.
Mm-mm.
I think I'm going to eat another honey barbecue simply to cool my mouth off.
Yeah, I'm going to do the same. This is the pod people pay for right here.
Hey, it's fine. People make a ton of money on YouTube just simply eating food and talking while they do it. That's a legitimate thing.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Campbell's got my daughter, Campbell, not everybody knows who I'm talking about, has an Instagram page where she tries recipes and stuff.
Uh-huh.
It actually does really well.
Does it really?
Mm-hmm. Here you go.
Okay. If you can't tell, we're out of football content. They need to play a game.
Been out for a week.
That's true.
I was kind of proud of us this week. Made it work. So there's been a lot of talk about Chris Lowe's story on Lane Kiffin. I'm interviewing Chris on Monday, by the way. It'll be aired at some point next week. I thought it was really, really good. I thought it was a really interesting.
4.5, 4, 3.5, 2.5. Yeah.
4.5 for the
Buffalo.
Buffalo.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Buffalo.
4 for the honey barbecue.
Mm-hmm.
4.5 buffalo. Just because of my flavor profile. 2.5 on garlic parm, and I'll go 3 on the ghost pepper. 3.5.
Yeah.
I think it did what it was trying to do.
They told you this for heat seekers. So yeah, if you wanted heat there.
And it's a fast food place. They're not going to kill you.
Right.
They're not about to put a real Carolina Reaper up in that bad boy and go to town.
I don't even like food that hot, though. Like, I know people do. It's like a challenge thing or whatever, but that doesn't do anything for me. Like, eating for pain doesn't make a lot of sense.
Where you're just pouring. And
yeah, I mean, it's not. I'm not sure how that's fun. ULMO's on?
Who?
ULM.
Oh.
Does anybody know where?
Is Rutgers like at all okay this year?
There are some people that think they're going to be a sneaky Big Ten team, like pull off an upset here and there.
Is that Rustin's logo, the big R?
Uh-huh.
Is it?
Yep.
Is it Rummel's too?
Mm,
Does Rummel use the R?
I can't remember. See, this is what's interesting, is that they say this game begins at 8 on ESPN, and yet I thought I saw they started at 5.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If someone can fill me in on where to find it, because it's not available on ESPN.com right now.
Yeah, we talked about Chris's story a little this morning. Also, it's gotten a good bit of play. I think I mentioned Brian did a podcast with Dwayne Dotson last night, former Ole Miss linebacker, NFL linebacker, one of the main defensive players on Ole Miss's 1992 team, which is the stand when Mississippi State did not score from inside the 5 over and over and over again during that game. So if you have not checked that out, that is also in our feed from last night in a partnership we have with Ole Miss and the Ole Miss Athletics Foundation. You will hear from each Letterman's Lounge attendee, if you will, prior to the home games. Brian will interview them. So Dwayne Dotson up first. He will be at Vaught Hemingway, just outside Vaught Hemingway, prior to the game on Saturday. You can see him there, as well as listen to the podcast again up now on the network. So yeah, there's that. No, there was a lot of stuff in Chris's story. I mean, like even going through some of the quotes that nobody's pulling out news on. I mean, even something like Golding saying that's not the guy I heard about at Alabama. It's a different guy. It's not that same human. It's all these different things. I mean, it plays into what I had mentioned earlier in the week, is that the Lane Kiffin of 2020, there's no way in hell Joe Judge is working for him.
No, the Lane Kiffin of 2020 wouldn't work for this Lane Kiffin.
That's a good point.
He said that.
Yeah.
I mean, he said that he's basically apologized to Saban and was like, yeah, I was kind of a pain in the ass.
That's what I said this morning. I took from it just the length of time and the dedication and all the things, and this switch to family and trust and being honest with yourself, which is really hard to do sometimes. Pretty easy to lie to yourself.
Yeah.
It's hard to sit down and go, hey, this isn't working, and here's how, and this is why, and this is going to suck to get out of it, but I got to get out of it.
I was pleased to finally get some admission that the Auburn thing was real. I mean, like, come on. I've told you, I've argued with people over that to the point where I just quit and go, okay, think what you want to think. It's good. It doesn't matter. He stayed. But I do think he was at one point leaving. And I think he was leaving because in his old world, you just did what conventional wisdom said to do. He talked about how, he used to be bothered by what somebody wrote or whatever.
Yeah.
And in conventional wisdom, 10 years ago, yes, you leave Ole Miss for Auburn. Of course you do.
Yeah, because you just do.
But exactly. And he didn't because
it's not the world we're in.
And look, it was more than just Landry. It was his parents. I know for a fact there were people close to him. Business associates told him it was a bad fit.
The fit was a real thing. The lack of fit was a real thing.
People like me consistently wrote that it was a bad fit. I can't find ULM.
Okay, who do we have?
North Carolina, Minnesota.
That's not till 7.
They got backed up an hour. Western Carolina,
Let's go to
NC
that.
State start in 2 minutes.
That's fine. We'll do that.
We'll do that, and then Arkansas is 30 minutes away, and then Missouri's about an hour away.
Okay. Oh, ULM got pushed back because of lightning, too.
Oh, okay.
There was a hell of a storm that came through for just maybe like 25 minutes today. I know there was a tree down over around St. Andrew's Circle.
Yep.
And then I had a meeting, and from where I live, either way I left, I was going to have problems. One way, there was a tree down in front of Phillips Grocery on Lamar that was blocking the road. And the other way, the light at Belk and 7 was out. So you were trapped if you were south of town at that point.
Here's my PSA for anybody.
Uh-huh.
And you drive around town a lot more than I do. This is not even the football weekend. I don't know whether it's just there's so many more kids on campus or there's just a lot more people here. I don't know what it is. But what used to take 10 minutes
the answer is yes.
Is 15 to 20.
Yes. Kids everywhere.
Yeah. So
turns out that record freshman class, they have cars and they're in town.
Stands to reason.
Well, it's like the other day, there was a really good thread on the board. If you're not members, sign up, rebelgrove.com to do that. And they were talking about the parking and the traffic through campus. And I've had a couple of things on campus this week, and it's unlike anything I've ever seen. And somebody goes, oh, we all said the same thing back in 2003. And I'm like, no. Take that number and
it's
exponent that bad boy. Like
it's noticeably different than it's been since I've been here.
And I'm not hating the students. It's what drives it. That's not the point.
No, I'm not. No, there's no criticism. I'm simply saying PSA, if you're used to getting from point A to point B.
Give yourself a few more minutes. Or, frankly, learn your side roads because they're not using them.
But if you're here and you don't know your side roads and you're like, okay, I've got to get from point A to point B, and it usually takes me 11 minutes, it's going to take you more than 11 minutes this time.
I took 2 or 3 roads today that I don't think I've been on in the 20 whatever years I've lived here.
I mean, Carson is one of these people that he's on time, but he's on time.
He's not early.
And I've had to explain to him, hey, man,
5 more minutes.
You're going to have to build in a little more time for yourself because this is different. Not necessarily getting from here to OHS in the morning, but like when he goes out to referee soccer on Monday nights at M-Trade, like it's going to take you a few extra minutes. And if you're going to the other side of town, if you're even going to be one of these daredevils to get on Jackson Avenue, you better give yourself a few more minutes.
Yeah, go to Connie's. It says not an ad. It's just because I am from the area when they were in Tupelo for all those years. Yeah, you want to go in the morning, you want to get a chicken and gravy biscuit, and you want to pair it with a blueberry donut.
Oh.
That's your order. A lot of people not from the Tupelo Amory area are just learning about the blueberry donuts for the first time here in the last
I've heard about
6 weeks or so. They are delightful.
I think Carson's done that.
They're delightful. Yeah, they're very good. And I'm not usually a more cake type donut, but those are.
Oh, it's a cake.
It's
donut?
more of a cake type donut, and they're real. No, look, the Ole Miss thing with the students. What is fascinating is
they're in a weather delay too. NC State. Weather everywhere.
Can we get some football? I mean,
we got Rutgers.
Lord.
Thank God for Rutgers.
Howard is wearing a Jumpman cap. Was that their coach?
Don't ask
Hold
me.
on a minute. Was he wearing a Jumpman cap?
It looked like it. I bet Greg Schiano would love to draw Tennessee one time. I bet he'd like to have a good team and face Tennessee one time.
That had to be a rough week for Greg.
I wonder what Greg Schiano thinks of Dan Wolken.
Yeah, go there. Don't go the other way because I'm trying to get that guy on the podcast. So it'd be nice.
Which guy?
The AD at the time in Tennessee.
Ah, yes. Yep.
He catch it?
He caught it.
He caught it?
Yeah.
Howard is Jumpman, huh?
How about that?
Shit, huh? I did not know that. Is Howard the school where the basketball coach was trying to sell the team for like millions of dollars?
Yes.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm. A portion of the team.
Yeah. Private equity in the team.
Yeah.
So I got that going on and Jumpman.
That's a lot.
I'm interested.
Yeah.
Kind of in on that. But no, but the interesting thing with Ole Miss is that's a good name, KC Concepcion.
I wonder if he's related to Davy Concepcion.
I don't know. I'm kind of curious too. I'll look it up in a minute.
He just got hurt.
Is this
No, he didn't.
enrollment cliff, not enrollment cliff? What do you build? What do you not build? Because Ole Miss was talking about building these extra dorms, but by the time they actually get built, do you need them, number one? And number two, they're so expensive per room.
Yeah.
You're talking about tens of millions of dollars for 400 beds. And you kind of look up and go, good God. I mean, it just
I have
logistically, it's really complicated right now.
Yeah, I have a really complicated, and maybe this is because I have college age kids. On one, and I think this is where I come down, and I'm sure Glenn Boyce would look at me and go, it's a lot more complicated than that. And I would say you're probably right, but I'm a parent. And this isn't just about Ole Miss. I saw where LSU has a record class this year, 7,500.
SEC schools appear to be thriving.
Oklahoma has a record freshman class again. Arkansas has a record freshman class again. I don't think Mississippi State does. That's no knock on them. I don't know what Alabama's deal is. I've heard Auburn has one record class after another. So this is kind of across these southern schools. People are sending their kids to the South.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen multiple New Jersey tags in Oxford in the last 2 or 3 days.
Really?
You don't really see those typically.
A lot of California.
Yeah.
A lot of California.
But if you're going to recruit those kids and take those kids, and you know those kids are coming and you're recruiting hey, come to the SIP and all that stuff, and I realize that's football, but it's beyond football. I do think you have to prepare accommodations for them. I don't think you can say, hey, come here, and then we'll figure it out.
Oh, you're exactly right.
I think that's a cop-out. And you're seeing that sort of around these schools that it's like, hey, we're loving this revenue, but we don't want to do – but I don't think that's right. And at some point, I do wonder if that comes back to bite them a little bit.
But you had no way to get it done for right now because
No.
you didn't – I mean, there was just no way.
Right.
And if you start building right now, a dorm is ready in 2027.
Although I will say this. In 2021, there were some signs this was coming all over the Southeast, Southwest even. There were signs this was coming, and I think everybody sort of punted, as best I can tell. Again, I'm not talking about just Ole Miss. I'm talking about a bunch of schools. Like, this is a crisis at LSU.
And then construction went up, and you went, oh, my God.
And nobody wanted – and I get it, but okay. You can't just keep taking, in Ole Miss's case, 6,200 kids.
62, 63, something.
Yeah.
And next year is even bigger.
Yeah, you can't.
The early suggestions are, whoa.
You just can't keep doing that and go, hey, we're going to squeeze them into the same dorms? We're going to find some apartments somewhere?
Yeah, because they lease every available apartment they can find.
And again, I don't want to make this Ole Miss-centric because I don't think that's fair to Ole Miss.
It's a little bit harder for Ole Miss in a lot of places. You and I were talking about this off air the other day because of just the size of your town. You don't have any surrounding community to really go into.
Well, I mean, not to make this about my kids, but like if, Caroline's living on campus. She's living in the Kyo house again this year. But, you could live in Springdale and go to school there. It wouldn't be.
Your experience is not completely dilapidated.
It wouldn't
at that
be
point.
awesome, but you could do it. And there's lots of apartments. And then if you were an older student or whatever, you could even live as far up as Rogers and make the drive. It wouldn't be the end of the world. Obviously, Oxford doesn't have that. But, if you're going to keep breaking records, you got to start thinking about accommodating them. You just do, I think.
Here's one. I'm changing the subject, but this is a hand-raised guys kind of topic. Playing off of your fall wedding love this morning, the New York Times just sent this out in like their newsletter. I get like whatever their top story things are in my email. This lead.
Okay.
Planning a wedding has become so expensive that some couples are asking their guests to pay to attend their special day. Hassan Ahmed, 23, is charging his guests $450 for a ticket to his wedding next year in Houston, where he lives. He said he hadn't heard back from many of his 125.
Hassan.
He said he had not heard back from many of his 125 wedding guests, but he has already spent over $100,000 on the wedding, including deposits for the venue, the DJ, the photographer, and a video on TikTok. He said he was confused by the response, noting that many of his guests had spent more money on Beyonce or Chris Brown tickets. According to a study by the wedding planning website The Knot, average cost of a wedding ceremony and reception in 2023 was $35,000, an increase of 5 from the year before. They surveyed 10,000 couples who had married in the United States in 2023. They would rather go see Beyonce than your wedding, bud. That is the answer.
Yeah, I mean,
come on.
I mean,
hey, here's your invitation, and here's the Venmo QR code.
$4.50.
$4.50. Anything.
I mean,
literally anything.
Any $4.50. You can't. I mean, you can't.
Matthew Shaw, the founder of Savir, I don't know how to pronounce it, a wedding planning company in London, said that selling tickets, quote, introduces a strange relationship between you and your guest. You think?
Yeah.
It's accurate.
$100,000.
You're no longer hosting. You're offering them a paid experience.
No, you're asking them to come to your wedding.
Also says just simply going as a guest to a wedding is more expensive than ever. It's $580 on average.
Because you got to get hotels.
Whole deal, yeah.
The whole thing.
Nova Styles and Remo Styles, I don't know who these people are, who were married at St. Patrick's Cathedral in New York in June 2023, charged guests $333 and sold all their tickets.
Really?
What it says. They said they did it to dwindle their guest list down significantly. So they invited a ton of people, knowing that most wouldn't show up because they were charging them money. That's a scheme.
Aren't you damaging relationships?
Yes. The answer is yes.
I mean,
the couple originally had a 350-person guest list, but the bus had space for only 60 people. It was stressful. We had to figure out a way for them to choose us because we can't choose them.
Maybe don't.
We wanted people who actually really wanted to be there. We felt the ticket system was the best way to do it.
Maybe don't have such a complicated wedding. Listen, for lots of people, money is going to be an issue, right? Just simplify it.
It was worth more than $333, Miss Marie said, someone that did pay it, adding that she knew the couple's intention was not to make money. She said she had a lot of fun celebrating and would have paid much more for the steak and lobster dinner at the top of blah, 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 blah.
See, there you go. You didn't have to do steak and lobster dinners.
No.
In fact, most people don't expect, at least I don't think, right? I don't go to a wedding thinking I'm going to get a full meal. Some hors d'oeuvres, cocktails. You can't even get away with just beer and wine. I mean, right? I mean, you can just go, hey, it's a beer and wine. Am I wrong or am I crazy?
No, I'm give me the bar, not the food.
Sure.
No, don't.
But I mean, you could put some appetizers out. And I mean,
if somebody leaves the reception 5 minutes because it's a dry wedding, it's your fault. Let them go. That's not on them.
Yeah. Well, don't have a reception if it's going to be a dry reception. Just don't. Don't.
Been to my neck of the woods lately?
I know.
Some.
That would keep costs down for sure. But you know what I'm saying? I mean, if I
heavy hors d'oeuvres and some alcohol.
Yeah.
Call it a day.
If you have heavy hors d'oeuvres, even if you just, like I said, if you just do beer and wine. No one's leaving because, by God, there's no vodka. No, they'll just have a glass of wine. It's okay.
It'll be okay.
It's going to be okay. And if
they will drink whatever's up there.
And if they don't, then they probably weren't really your friend anyway, and it's okay.
Little wine, little beer, a couple specialty cocktails if you feel the need.
There you go.
Some kind of blue margarita that everybody will grab and drink.
Some champagne. Yeah. It's fine. You can keep it simpler.
No one is expecting true scallops and a filet when you sit down to eat.
No.
No. Give me the traditional little finger foods and the stuff, and it's cool. If you want to do some kind of carving station, I'll approve it. I'll let it go. You get two cakes already. You got the wedding cake and the groom's cake.
Yeah. Yep.
Gonna get a couple options there.
Yeah.
You know, my groom's cake fell in right before it came out.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, completely just sunk. I guess it was like strawberries or something on it. Yeah. The venue had one they were using for brunch the next day and doctored it up and brought it out and gave it to me.
How about that?
Uh-huh.
Did you even know?
Like after the fact, probably. I mean, I don't recall that being something in the moment. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind a sit-down meal, but I don't think it's an expectation. There's a difference.
That's my point.
If you want a sit-down meal, I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
I've been to weddings with sit-down meals, and I've had a great time. That's not the point.
My point is that
when you're the guest and you go, oh, well, we're only having heavy hors d'oeuvres, I'm out. No,
of course not. I'm good with that. I know no one who wouldn't be. There's heavy hors d'oeuvres in a bar? Sure, sign me up. And like you said, if you want some cake later, you can have it. It's all good. And if you leave the reception 4 hours later and have to go stop at Sonic to grab a burger,
that's okay too.
Okay, it's all right. Or Wendy's to get you some saucy nugs.
We already sold some in the thread. Big Ben said he stopped in the drive-thru on the way home.
There you go.
He was headed in the tribe a minute ago.
Podcast advertising works.
I mean, they were good.
They were real solid. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm thinking about that last Buffalo one right now.
Have it. You can have both garlic corn parm too.
No, I'm good. They were fine. I just not my favorite flavor profile. If it were, those would have been good.
That is, Grind has a good point. I've eaten many more full meals at a funeral service than weddings.
Oh, yeah, the post-funeral thing, yeah.
With the church or whomever puts the stuff in. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
That's much more common. Is that a call?
It appears to be. Hey, who do we have? Hey, caller, who do we have?
This is Big Ben, and I just had finished eating them.
How were the nugs?
Give us the review.
Be honest.
I would pay $330 if a wedding was serving them.
That feels hyperbolic, but I do appreciate the recommendation there.
Which flavor did you get?
We'll see. Normal nugs out of Buffalo.
Buffalo, okay.
But normal nugs, you just expect them to be good, but these turn them up to 11.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought so too. In other words, you nugged like you've never nugged before.
Never nugged like this.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's incredible.
And it starts with Wendy's has a pretty good nugget. So you start with a pretty good base layer. Like their nuggets is completely legitimate.
Yeah.
And to be fair, just be serious for a second, I do judge buffalo sauces as someone who loves buffalo wings. Wendy's buffalo sauce is great.
It's good.
Like McDonald's is too mild, Popeyes is too oily, Wendy's is, as far as fast food goes, it's right there.
I'm not a big fast food person, so I can't add a lot to that. But those were good.
Yeah, I mean, I know neither of y'all are. It's just as a guy who eats in his car at lunch a lot of time, fast food is definitely most ideal.
Yeah, yeah. No, I totally get it.
Where do you sort of rate the Wendy's chicken nugget by itself?
I mean, McDonald's are like the original. They're okay.
Completely
like
different
baseline.
Experiences.
McDonald's almost has a
Wendy's are better.
Sweet on it, right?
And the little crust like that.
Yeah, Wendy's are better. And then I don't want to, out over Popeyes are good, Chick-fil-A is good, but they're different because they're actual like meat as opposed to nuggets.
Chicken.
Yes, and to get into the boneless wing argument, there is a difference between boneless wings and nuggets.
Explain.
Listening.
What's your argument?
So nuggets are ground up chicken meat. It could be from any part of the chicken.
Oh.
It's ground up. It is emulsified. It's whatever. Boneless wings are whole white meat chicken breast. They are not natural, but better meat.
Oh.
So you're much better off
I've heard y'all
eating a
argue about
boneless wing than you are a nugget from a purity taste standpoint.
Yes, and I will order bone-in wings every time. But if I'm at lunch wearing a tie, I can go to Buffalo Wild Wings with a fork and eat boneless wings with a fork at the bar, and it's a lot better than eating nuggets anywhere.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll buy that.
Yeah, that's a logical
Do
explanation.
you prefer traditional wings to boneless wings if you were actually just eating without the tie and the fork at lunch?
Yes. Yes, 100%.
Okay.
All right, that's pretty much all I had. I mean, let's see. I can either watch North Carolina, Minnesota, or Tim Walz and Kamala Harris. So I'll definitely be watching the football game.
Yes, for sure. I am interested to see that interview though, because the early returns are not positive for her.
18 minutes.
Who's that?
Pre-taped, no transcripts.
Who was that?
So
Whoever, I don't know who that was just then.
Howard is on the board.
Howard's on the board. Yep. Yeah, 18 minutes, and it apparently required some heavy editing. It's their fear with her is that she at some point has to do some impromptu stuff and she just can't.
I mean, not to get to this is where I'll stop with politics. Just I agree with you on it. If she just does nothing and wins, that's politics, I guess.
Yeah, well, and
it could work.
And it will be the Republicans' fault because they're running the one guy. I mean, we'll get off of it. They're running the one guy that could lose to her.
Yeah.
Kind of is what it is. I mean,
all right.
It's where we are. Hey, thanks, Big Ben.
Yep, thanks.
All right, so Rutgers and Howard heading to the half, 14-7. I never thought we'd spend this much time talking about Rutgers and Howard, but here we are. What time's Missouri play? 7?
Don't know. Probably.
Yeah, I think so. All right. So
and Arkansas is 6:30?
Yeah, they're about to get started.
Okay. Braves up 1-0 on the Phillies in the second inning.
Oh, the Braves are kind of messing this thing up for me because the Cubs are winning over 500 now, but the Braves keep winning. Cubs can make up no ground.
What's happened is as the Braves have fallen off, Chris Sale has gotten hot as a damn firecracker. I mean, it's got to be his Cy Young at this point, right?
Well, the Braves are 8-2 in their last 10 games.
I know, but just saying.
Yeah, I would think so.
I think he's allowed 2 runs or fewer in 14 straight starts.
He's been terrific. Boy, Skeens is good. I watched some of the Cubs Pirates yesterday.
There is that.
I mean, he won't win the Cy Young, but he is really, really good. Hey, caller, who do we have?
You got Bennett from Oxford, but I'm history major Rev on the board. I'm not going to talk about politics because there's a much more pressing matter that got brought up with the largest incoming freshman class. It is the fucking lack of parking. Pardon my language. I'm tired.
No, you're good. No,
it's very bad.
It's bad. It's bad.
I got there later in the day than normal, and so I had to park out by the track facilities, and I had a stomach bug yesterday, so I was already kind of dehydrated, and I had to walk to Bondurant Hall, which is about a good mile walk there and back, and I just feel like absolute crap today after that. I'm not like the least in shape guy out there, but it's like, okay, at some point, even if you expect this to be a cliff, more parking is the gift that keeps on giving.
There's nowhere to put the more parking. What they're going to do is take cars away from freshmen or from someone. There's literally nowhere to actually put the parking.
I'm a junior.
Okay, let's.
I guess you could consider this me pulling the ladder up. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, here's my question, I'm not saying that's the wrong thing to do, but in a town like Oxford and in a place like Ole Miss that doesn't have a ton of public transport, if you're going to take away the cars from the freshmen, you've got to have transportation built in that allows them to get places where they need to get.
But you probably have to double or triple the out system.
I mean, you can't just take away. You got to add, or else you're going to get a reputation for that's not a good place.
I mean, there's a couple parking garages that are at least to some level under construction advisement. I don't know, wherever.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the thing.
And I realize as we say all this, the three of us, that there are people at Ole Miss that are listening that are like, hey, if it were only that easy. I totally get that.
Yeah.
And again, I will say this. This is
Me
not
too, and I'm just a student.
It's not just an Ole Miss problem. This is all over the place. I've heard this is a situation at Auburn, at a lot of places. But
I mean, there's going to be a parking garage, like, for example, right there at the corner of Gertrude Ford and University past the baseball stadium, right where the Ford Center is. Now, God help us all while that's being constructed because of that area being shut down.
On my typical day.
I mean,
next time, and it's like, here's the thing: you're paying about for the best like commuter parking pass, you're paying about $250 some odd dollars. So at some point it's like, okay, the best parking spot you're going to get is in the pavilion parking garage, which is I think a couple hundred more, to where it's like, okay, at some point, and it doesn't really affect me near as much as it affects other people, because I get there around 8 because I also work on the university as a student worker. So I can get there with good parking. But the days I don't, like, it wasn't this bad last semester when we had a record. I think we had a record incoming freshman class last time too.
Yeah.
This one's just, and it kind of overloaded the office I work in, because we had to deal with a lot of it.
I mean, Bennett, just do the math, right? You have a record class last year. Most of them are still here. Ole Miss is known for its retention rate.
92%.
92%. So 92% of the record class is still here. Then you bring in another record class. I mean, you don't have to be a genius to figure out that you're creating traffic issues. Even I've heard it's like there's no room in the dorms to this point where they've had to start buying out like houses or apartments outside off campus for people to live in at this point. That's what I've heard. I don't know how true that is. That was just going around my office. Well, and then here's the thing that I think some of these schools have to ask themselves, and this is a good problem to have, but like I think we all know, like the Delta states of the world the cliff's gonna kill them. Is it really gonna kill the SEC schools? Is it even going to impact the SEC schools?
It's going to lead to even more out-of-state students.
Because if it's not, then you have to start building now.
I think I've counted all. So I'm an Oxford local, so I've counted like in my classes, and I don't have like the biggest one since I'm not in like 101 anymore, or 100 level. But I've counted, at least on top of my head, like 5 students from Mississippi in each of them, including me. And it's like the rest of them are from Georgia, California. To where it's like, okay, there's a significantly more out-of-state students in any given class than in-state students. That's another question I think that kind of needs to be broached, but it's not really one that I can answer. Me, I just picked it because it's the one I'm a history major. It kind of made no doubt to me.
No, I get it. And I don't know. I mean, I do think a possibility is that building garages and parking lots off campus and using more transit and buses to get them on. That's something that happens at much larger schools that I think a lot of people who are just in the bubble to Ole Miss don't really understand.
But you got to have those buses rolling,
and it's got to be meticulous.
It's got to be efficient as hell, because you cannot have the liability of females standing in parking lots by themselves at night waiting for buses, and the buses don't come. That's not how you keep the 92%.
That's not a good look at all.
That's not how you keep the retention rate going, I'll tell you that, as the parent of college-age girls. So
anyway,
it's a problem. I mean, it's a good problem, but it's a problem.
As someone who's an Oxford native, I really love the inflow of money into the community, but there also are problems that have just being a small town with having this many people coming at once.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
So what is Ole Miss's enrollment this fall? Roughly
23, maybe. I don't know. I'm guessing. I mean, somewhere in there.
20 years ago, it was 11.
I will let y'all go. Y'all have a good one.
Okay, thanks, Bennett.
23,780, and that was in 2017. So no, way higher.
So 27,000.
$2023-2024 enrollment. No. I was right. Total enrollment 21,596.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're probably pushing 22 right now.
Yeah. Applied Sciences 3,009, Business 4,907, Education 1,310, Engineering 1,327, Journalism and New Media 1,878. Third largest school on campus. Well, liberal arts is 5,500. Sorry, I missed that one down there at the top, at the bottom. Yeah, I don't know how that compares. I mean, it's bigger, but I don't know how that compares to past years.
Yeah, I don't know. Some of it is just migration south. Parents are sending their kids to the Southern schools. I know Clemson had a run of record enrollment for a while. I think I said this earlier. Oklahoma's been breaking their own record since 2021, just over and over and over.
Right before the pandemic, Ole Miss was at 19,421, so about 3,000 more than the year before the pandemic.
That's a significant number.
And about 2,000 more undergraduates.
Yeah.
Undergraduates then were 16,545 and are now, whatever I said, 18 something.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's not stopping. Still going. Next year will then be the largest class in school history. They already know that.
Yeah.
Judging by applications and how that works.
Sure.
They can get an idea.
Sure. Well, they probably have a percentage on X percent of applicants typically enroll. They probably have that down to a pretty scientific number, I would think.
UCLA is at Hawaii Saturday.
Yeah, wearing their UCLA stripes.
UCLA is first of 6 trips to 4 different time zones this season. Can't wait for that UCLA at Rutgers Big Ten game.
UCLA plays at Iowa, I think. That'll be a weird look.
It's a contrast.
Maybe it's Iowa at UCLA. I can't remember. I know they play each other in a Big Ten game.
Ole Miss went to Cal a few years ago.
Yeah. But that wasn't a league game.
That's true. Didn't Ole Miss have another trip to BYU coming up at some point?
I thought so.
Did I imagine that?
No, I think that's right. That's actually a place I'd love to go to a game.
Provo.
They say the setting is absolutely stunning. All right, we're about to get our first SEC snap of the year.
Ole Miss is at BYU in 2028. Do you think that game happens? Let's play this. Let's play this game.
Okay. Who else is on that schedule?
All right. 2025. Do you think these 4 games happen?
Okay.
Georgia State, Citadel, Wake at home, Tulane at home.
Yes.
You think all 4 of those happen, same SEC schedule, 8 games? Because I do believe that. I think next year is just a flip.
Yeah.
2026, only 2 games currently scheduled. So they're preparing for that 9 game without telling you guys they've already canceled 2 of these things.
Yeah.
At Charlotte, does that game happen? 2026, though.
No.
That game's killed.
No.
They'll get another home game.
They'll
play somebody at home.
They'll bite that one and play a home game.
And Eastern Kentucky. The Colonels are on the schedule in 2026.
That probably happens.
Okay. 2027, Charlotte's on the schedule, but you're not going to.
They're not coming back here. No. I mean,
the 49ers do have a little bit of pride about
somebody
them.
in the room would be like, no.
They didn't come to us.
Yeah.
So, no.
They'd be like, screw them. Yeah.
In 2027 at UConn, does that game happen? Does Ole Miss go to Storrs, Connecticut for a football game in 2027?
Who scheduled that?
I don't know. I mean, Pete went to Arkansas State with Eli.
I'll say that no, that game does not happen.
I agree with you.
Okay.
This was an interesting one because of the conference stuff.
Okay.
2027, home game with Oregon State.
Yeah.
You think they play Oregon State in 2027?
Probably do.
And that will count as their Power 5 game? Will Oregon State keep their standing as a team that counts?
I will say by then probably so, yeah, because they'll probably end up in the Big 12 or something.
Okay. 2028, I get it. South Alabama at home.
Sure.
But the problem here is in 2029, there's a return trip to Mobile on the schedule. No. I don't think in this 9-game world you're doing group of 5 road games. I don't know. I don't know if this was scheduled under Keith or if this was scheduled in 2004. I have no clue. I didn't know this information when I interviewed Michael yesterday.
Not a full house at War Memorial.
Is it really bad?
Not real bad, but it's not good.
A lot of people are not going to drive over from Fayetteville to that thing.
No, very few will, in fact.
I don't like the Golden Lions' chances. Alcorn State at BYU and UConn are the other 2028. The problem with this is there's just a bunch of home and homes. So if you kill the road game to them, they're going to kill the home game to you. Unless you just pay them.
Yeah, I just think we're going to see a lot of schedule redos.
But BYU should stick. BYU is a road game in 28 and a home game in 29.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And then if you would like to care past that, feel free.
Don't they have Purdue on the schedule at some point soon?
They do. So, well, soon is relative. But 20 to 30 at Oregon State, Georgia Southern. Got those two on. 2032 at Virginia Tech. 2033 Purdue. 2034 at Purdue. 2037 Virginia Tech.
Yeah, I don't think that 2037 thing is all that settled right now.
I feel like we got time to worry about that later. It's okay.
Got a feeling.
So you're really only banking for sure on next year's schedule.
Yeah.
Everything else is probably some level of influx.
100%. Because I think they're going to a 9-game schedule.
Now, in 2026, that Charlotte thing might stick only because if you take it out, you got to fill in more games. You got to find 2 more games in the next 18 months with dates that work. And you can do it, but
there's a lot of time.
Okay.
Just my opinion.
Yeah. They will play Wake Forest at home and they'll play Tulane at home next year. By the way, you'll have 8 home games next year.
Is that right?
That's correct.
Wow.
Your home schedule next year will be Arkansas, Florida, LSU, South Carolina, Georgia State, Citadel, Wake Forest, Tulane.
Wow. That's a lot of home games.
Mm-hmm.
Is that too many home games? If you're the school to even
there
want
are a
8
lot
home
of
games?
There are a lot of schools that hate that because it artificially increases your season ticket packages because there's an extra game.
Yeah.
So ticket prices go up simply because you have an extra game. That's why most people like only 7 home games.
So who's on the schedule again?
Next year?
Yeah.
Home games. Florida, South Carolina.
Yeah, you get the non-cons.
Georgia State, Citadel, Wake Forest, Tulane. I think Tulane sticks, although Ole Miss has made it very clear, including on this podcast, that they will not play Tulane down there unless it's in the Dome. So there's a chance Tulane would decide to come off for next year and not want to play the game.
I'd almost be tempted to get that game off the schedule and schedule some sort of a
good game
on
the road or
on
neutral
the road
site.
or maybe a neutral site game.
That schedule would fit neutral site pretty well.
That's what I think.
To go,
too.
hey, go play in Atlanta or Charlotte or somewhere.
Yeah,
and call it a day.
Maybe meet somebody in Nashville. Hey, who do we have?
Yo, it's Grind.
What's up, Grind? How are you?
Doing pretty good, man. Just enjoying the show. How about Ole Miss and Clemson and Nashville? How about that?
Yeah, see, something like that would work. Ole Miss and Louisville. I mean, you could meet somebody in Atlanta. Obviously, Ole Miss travels really well to Atlanta. You could play, I don't know, in Arizona State in Dallas. You could play a game in Houston. Ole Miss has huge alumni bases in both of those cities.
I was thinking about that too.
That was
See, the thing that sucks is though, I want more Big Ten SEC matchups. Like week 1, like I would love if week 1 or week 2 we just have a designated, like how they do in basketball. You might as well know.
Well,
it'll give you an actual, you'll know. Okay, look, the SEC went so and so against the Big Ten, so this year the SEC is better than the Big Ten. So I mean, maybe their 4th best team is actually better than the 2nd best team out of the Big Ten. You'll actually have some metrics, to use.
Look, I still think it's possible, Grind, in 8 or 10 years that we open the dang season in week 1. By that point, the SEC and Big Ten have separated so far that week 1 is just simply a Big Ten SEC challenge, and every year you play somebody from that league.
Did you say 10 years or 2 years?
Either way, yeah.
Okay. Well, because here's the thing.
Your record somehow dictates that next year you're going to go to wherever, Bloomington, and play Indiana or Michigan, whatever.
That's what the networks want.
Yeah.
The networks want the Auburn Michigan game.
And they'll put the bracket up there and keep the score.
Yeah, whatever. They just want those. They want that inventory. That's good. I mean, Oklahoma, Penn State. I mean, we can keep going. I mean, right.
Wake is on the TV. Let's watch Wake.
Oh, okay. Do you know where?
I don't. I just said Wake just allowed a touchdown to North Carolina A&T.
Well, I mean, I think Wake's going to be a bad team.
They're ranked in the 80s on the 130 whatever list.
Ole Miss is gone. Ole Miss is they're gonna turn that demon to an angel. Oh my goodness, dude! I think Ole Miss is gonna be. Wake Forest gonna be bad. I think they're going to be bad.
Yeah, I'm surprised Clawson hasn't jumped at some point. He must really like Winston-Salem. He's a good coach.
I have to. Hey man, I was listening to a Big 12 pod, and the way they interpret the playoff rules is that because their whole thing is they're worried that the Big 12 champ may end up 5 if the G5 champ is undefeated, because they interpret the rules as the highest conference champions, not highest Power 4 conference champions.
That is correct.
So is there a world where like Liberty? So is there a world where Liberty is the 4th seed or something? Like
yes, I mean, it would take a special circumstance, but yes, it is not guaranteed. It is the 4 Power 4. If you had this group of 5 that had a big win, and you had some 9-3 conference champion in another league, yeah, 100%. Let Louisville lose to Kentucky, lose another non-con, but then somehow get into the dang championship game and beat somebody. Yeah, 100%. It's not likely.
So you think it's more likely?
I mean,
what is the record? Does 10-2, or does the champion have to be 9-3? Can an undefeated?
No, it's going to take one of those circumstances where the Big Ten or the ACC champion is from the bad division and just takes advantage of 6 turnovers one day. You know what I mean? Because I mean, look, there have been SEC teams win the West at 5-3, Grind.
But who has divisions anymore, though?
Well, but either way, I mean,
I don't think anybody.
It's a better point. It takes a lot of the chance away by not having divisions.
Yeah.
So you don't get the weird. I mean, the Big Ten's a good example. I mean, sometimes Iowa wins that thing 2 or 3 losses.
Neal, I thought you was being a little harsh at the preseason saying the ACC gonna only get 1 bid, but I tell you what, if Florida State ends up in the ACC championship game, then that lets me know the ACC only get 1 bid.
Thank you. See,
because that is not.
Every once in a while, I get one right. That league's not good, man. The league's not good. It is not. It's not good. They don't. It's just not a good league. It hasn't been a good league for a little while. Clemson's kind of run of dominance is over.
Miami just never is. I didn't realize Miami has never won an ACC championship. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and I mean, they're not as
all the championships are like Big East and all that other stuff.
If you made Miami play an SEC schedule, they'd lose a bunch of games. The Big 12 is a superior league to the ACC. If you did a ACC Big 12 football,
you think the Big 12 would win?
Yes, 100%. Look at let me look at the Big 12. You've got.
But see, the top, but
I'm talking about depth of league, right? Like the depth of the league. I mean, the teams like 4, 5, 6, 7 in the Big 12 are so much better than the teams in the same spot in the ACC.
Was Florida State the highest ranked ACC team in the preseason poll?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, they better hope we were wrong. That conference better hope we was wrong, boy.
Of course.
See, my thing is, like I told my brother, I think this, because like I told you, man, I think this, like the weekend hot take or whatever, is going to be, the ACC only going to get 1 bid. Because if you have North Carolina go to lose to Minnesota, you got Clemson getting blown out by Georgia and all the other little matchups they got, I think it could be like a referendum weekend that the ACC is, trying to fight the whole season, to scrub that dirt off their name.
Let's do this real quick. I'll be real quick. Go through this. If you had a matchups of just where they were ranked in the preseason going into the year.
Okay.
Big 12 ACC. We'll keep tally. Virginia against Arizona State.
Arizona State.
Grind?
Yeah. Even though
that'd be a shitty game, but yeah.
Yeah.
Wake Forest, Houston.
You got to take Arizona State.
Houston.
You got to take Houston. Yeah.
Pitt, Cincinnati.
Pitt. Cincinnati is awful.
Pitt.
They falling off.
Boston
Pitt.
College, BYU.
BYU.
Did BYU fire their coach last year? Program-wise, just give me BYU. I'll just take BYU. Take BYU.
Syracuse, Baylor.
Oh, it'd be close, boy.
I think Syracuse, actually.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning Syracuse, but
Duke, Colorado.
Colorado right now.
Yeah.
Even Duke coming off the 8-5, but no Leonard, no Elko. Okay.
Yeah.
Georgia Tech,
I don't know.
TCU.
Yeah, no Riley, no Elko.
Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech, yeah.
Cal, Texas Tech.
Texas Tech.
Yeah.
Texas Tech, yeah.
North Carolina, UCF.
Ooh.
It'd be a good game. I'm in.
I actually pay attention to that.
I'm going this season, I go with UCF.
I think I would too.
Okay. Let's see. Virginia Tech, West Virginia.
West Virginia.
Yeah, I had to go West Virginia just because I don't know. I could that could be one that I'm wrong on at the end of the season.
NC State, Iowa
wrong.
State.
NC State who?
Iowa State.
Ooh.
NC State.
NC State.
Yeah, NC State. That's
a good game.
I'd actually watch that game.
SMU, Arizona.
SMU.
Yeah, even they did not look good, but SMU.
Louisville, Kansas.
Kansas. He's done a good job at Kansas. They're solid.
Yeah. Well, they did. Louisville did.
Louisville went 10-4, 7-1 last year.
I know.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm just pointing out.
I'm gonna split. I'm gonna go with Louisville. I'm gonna go with Louisville.
All right.
I'm gonna go.
Okay.
Miami, Oklahoma State. It's Miami.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oklahoma State? No. If you giving me Gundy versus Cristobal,
Well,
give me
okay,
Gundy.
there is that. There is that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
He's done a really good job at Oklahoma State.
Well, of course. Yeah, they're good.
Yeah, yeah, give me Gundy.
Now, I don't know if they're playing in week 1 or week 11, but
Yeah, but still.
True.
All in all.
Clemson, Kansas State.
Clemson.
Clemson, but it's close.
Florida State, Utah.
Utah.
Yeah.
Neal has the
Utah.
Big 10, the Big 12 going 10-6. Grind's got it going 9-7.
Yeah.
The Big 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. And man, before I let y'all go, that FSU media, dog. Oh my goodness, I did not know the football guys was gonna bless me with a melt so early. Oh my. I mean, first off, when Chase said that they probably sent the guy to Dublin. No, they sent everybody to Dublin. They did a whole little whip around where everybody's in a different little pub giving their prediction on the game. I've got Florida State 34, Georgia Tech 10. It was just nothing but good vibes flowing. They were talking about how the defensive line was top 5, offensive line was the best in the nation, and I was like, dude. And so now, what their whole response has been, which I find interesting, because it's sort of a double down. They're basically saying that the players didn't come out with the energy that they expect to see Florida State cover the 16.5 against Boston College, to come out energized and to come out with the talent that they expect. And I'm like, man, I know what I saw against Georgia Tech.
Well, from a media standpoint, when some of these media outlets only have one play in the playbook, you have no choice but to run that play. That's the only play. It's the only play you've practiced.
What if BC wins that game, man? Just by that.
Something they can.
I mean, you mean after we all get through laughing our asses off? It would be a meltdown. I mean, look, Florida State will win that game, but again, from just a media standpoint, it's where there's too many guys doing what we do who have never covered anyone but their alma mater, and they don't understand that. They don't understand that you can. I mean, like, right? If I'm covering Vanderbilt, right? I mean, I can make everybody feel awesome the whole month of August, and then reality's going to hit, and then I'll look like a damn idiot again. And I don't know why people do that. I mean,
now look, if Vanderbilt did have a guy that was coming out saying, "Hey, look, I think Vandy could go 9-3." I think I would kind of like. I'm not gonna say just because it's Vanderbilt, but I get what you're saying though. If you were, I get the gist of what you're saying, but I would find that hilarious though.
Well, I mean, it's like we cover Ole Miss, right? And there are people right now this year with Ole Miss that are talking about 11 and 12 wins, and I'll tell you, I think that's possible. But I also will say that look, if you're going to do 11 or 12, that's best case. you do have to talk about worst case, because sometimes breaks don't go your way. Sometimes you lose the close games. Last year, Ole Miss won its close games, all of them. Sometimes the breaks don't go your way. So, I mean, I don't know why, from a media standpoint, people do that. I really don't. I've never understood it. Sometimes it's just to kiss ass. They think that the program's going to give them more access, and sometimes it's just they just want to be loved, and I don't know. And a lot of times it's because they're trying to wish something into existence.
Sure. I agree. I mean, it's just, I find it fascinating how, as a fan, you would have them as your number one source of, just information. Like, I find that fascinating from a fan standpoint, as that's what you would want. Because, I mean, I don't think, maybe we're different to people that, your subscriber base is different. But I just think, we prefer something else. I'm going to hit you guys with a stat and then a question, and I'm going to let you guys go. Remember that little presidential stat I hit you guys with, like the last hand raised guys about the Democrats and whatnot?
I do. I remember that.
Dude. And you said, well, I bet Hugh Freeze silently donated to the Trump administration, or to the Trump campaign. Well, let me tell you this, brother. I found another stat that he really did. The past 3 times the country has elected a Democrat, Auburn has fired their coach.
Oh.
In 2008, 2012, and 2020.
Wow.
So, yeah, that is a stat.
He's Team Trump. Yeah, he's Team Trump. Let me ask you this, because Auburn's one of those teams that I think has variance, right? And I think at the end of the day, Auburn's going to win 7, 8 games, whatever. But in a world where Auburn only won 5 games, I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying hypothetically, kicks and giggles. In a world where Auburn went 5-7, lost to Bama again, of course. I know he's not getting fired, but how hot does the seat get for him in year 3?
Man, come on, man. I will say this. If he does that, because it's very interesting, because he's recruiting very well.
Very well.
You have to give him that.
Oh, he's recruiting extremely well at the high school level. Extremely well.
But at 5-7, then, of course, I don't think that class holds together. If you go 5-7, I'm going to assume that some of the kids that you brought in the talented class last year, like the Freeze 5 or the Freeze 4 receivers, if you go 5-7, that probably means those guys are like, man, look, they don't have a quarterback that can give me the shine. Then in that case where you see a class falling apart and you see the talent that you brought in Exodus, it could happen. It could happen that offseason, to be honest with you, because why keep them?
That's my thing about the league, right? Is that all these teams are playing, and not everybody's going to win. And then the ones that are building on high school talent. And
you are banking on having you're selling on having a competent season at least.
Yes, 100%. You're banking on having enough competent season that people go, hey, look, man, they've got it.
It's coming.
It's coming. And because 5 years ago, that absolutely was a viable sales pitch.
I'm gonna tell y'all this: 7-5 will be fine. Y'all remember last year when I called y'all after the Ole Miss game, and I wasn't mad about the result because they were, people knew Auburn was gonna lose that game. It was the way he went about it with just no plan, just all emotional, no proof of concept of what he wants to do. Yet you were mad at Robert Ashford because he didn't read a play that Payne Thorne probably would have read correctly. Well, this year, if you go 7-5, but you show some proof of concept and you've got freshmen that, they make a mistake, but they make a big play here, that'll be fine. But that's going to be the thing. It's kind of like Trump. You're going to have to stick to the basics and actually the football. You can't get too wrapped up in their emotion and like, man, like if Auburn is somehow undefeated going into Georgia, dude, you can't start going crazy, bro. You can't start feeling like you got the shakes, you got the blood flowing, trying to draw up something crazy. Just go to Athens, have your proof of concept, If you get some plays here and there, fine, cool, dandy. If you don't, you live to see next week. You don't need to try to go out there and then you're starting to compound stuff, and now people are starting to second guess you. Like, well, is he gonna do this next week? Is he gonna do this at Missouri? And so you just gotta stick to the plan. So that's gonna be his big thing. And if he does, I think he'll be okay. Honestly, if he does, I think he'll be okay. Cause I believe 7-5 with the money that they have in the NIL, with what they're telling the kids, will secure what he's trying to do, recruiting wise and high school wise. And their whole plan in the portal, if they're supposedly going to try to bring in a guy next year, we'll see. But that's going to be his whole thing, man. Sticking to that proof of concept, not veering off from the blueprint. You're trying to build a house, don't start getting funky on the house. Just stick to the blueprint. Just stick to it. And then if at the end of the day, if the house is built and all their fans don't like the blueprint, then it is what it is. It is what it is. Every coach don't come out with a blueprint that fans love, and just want to accept for here and there. It is what it is. So that's my whole little spiel on it.
All right, what stat you got for us?
Oh, it was the Democrat.
Oh, the Democrat stat. I got you. I remember. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then I just want to get y'all opinion. Maybe it's not a big deal. Maybe it is. The impact of not having Deion Smith, but then also, kind of delve into the human side of, Deion Smith as well, and some of the ramifications, and whether you guys feel sad, for him, or whether you guys are more like, I mean, man, it's life, and you have your opportunities. I just want to hear your guys' take on that, and I hang up and enjoy the show.
Thanks, Graham.
Appreciate it, bud.
I mean, I always feel bad for the kid. He dug himself a tremendous hole at LSU. Did something that, frankly, forget football for a minute, that a lot of freshmen do their first semester. It's
surprising a little bit that just with the level of oversight, he was able to fall that far without just getting the hell out of the damn class.
Right. Sure.
I blame him because, you were doing it, but at the end of the day, that's the strange one is how did you not let it stop?
And that was a year where the coaching staff was in trouble.
Yeah.
People weren't really paying attention. And you fell through the cracks.
Yeah.
And then you look up, and now you're a million miles behind.
But it's just kind of complicated now.
And then the part of it here is just depends on who you talk to, and it's really complicated. And yeah, I kind of wish I knew a little bit more before I said a lot more. I do think there were different eras where that would have been taken care of, and he would have been cleared, and he would have been practicing, and he would have been playing, and it's complicated. Do I feel bad for the kid? I do. Obviously, I feel bad for him. Was some of it self-inflicted? Yes, 100%. A lot of it was. But yeah, I feel bad for him because he wants to play football. That's what he's good at. It's what he wants to do. And now he's got himself in a situation where for any other school, they look at it and go, well, we're going to have to figure out a way to justify what Ole Miss chose not to, and that's going to make it even more difficult for him.
No, it's true. Yeah.
His
options now are so limited that it's just.
Yeah, he almost has to go to an NAIA kind of a school or something. So I don't know. Truth is, he was a kid that probably out of high school didn't need to go where he went.
Mm-hmm.
Probably made a bad decision. Probably wasn't the right fit for him. He would have been better off at Ole Miss or State his freshman year.
Ole Miss teased the uniform choice about an hour ago. What do you think they're picking?
Blue top, white pants.
Navy or powder?
Navy top.
Navy white? Navy helmet?
Yeah.
Okay. Navy white.
That's my guess.
The game's on E+, guys. Just
is that am I right?
No, I don't know. We don't know yet.
Okay.
They said, what should we wear this Saturday? And then they put 6 different options out there.
Oh, okay.
They put navy on red out there. Navy hat, red jersey.
Okay.
White hat, red jersey. Navy, navy. Blue, blue, white, blue. I see no pants. I only have helmet and jersey.
Gotcha.
But they're not wearing blue on blue or white on blue. They're not wearing. I wouldn't think they'd waste one of their powder options on this game. So
I wouldn't think. Are they doing the we wear a different uniform every game thing again?
They do.
Yeah,
that's kind of their shtick.
Yeah.
So you need 11 suits.
12 suits.
You got a helmet coming. You don't have yet.
Oh yeah.
So you have that later. Or it might be Saturday, guys. They might be breaking it out for Furman. Might be what it is.
I feel confident saying they're not.
I have a gag order. I can't say.
Yeah. I don't have a gag order, and I feel confident.
There'd be a lot of questions all the way around if that's where you threw the helmet out on Saturday.
Really?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
North Carolina A&T is up on Wake 10-7 right now with 6:49 to go in the second quarter.
I'm right now regretting the travel investment that I've made to go to Winston-Salem in 2 weeks. I'm a little upset at myself. I think we could have gotten away with just watching that on television. But I'll enjoy my weekend in Greensboro. It's got catch up on sleep written all over it.
It does. I mean, they're not good.
Get into Greensboro at about noon.
They're bad.
Sleep. Grab something. I've already done the steakhouse, Greensboro, North Carolina. And now I got to find the one where you can sit at the bar and sort of slip off.
So Andrew Hutchinson, that covers Arkansas now for whoever it is. Yeah. Northwest Arkansas thing.
Yeah, I can't remember what he does a good job.
6:12 p.m. So before kickoff, but right before kickoff. Update. We've lost water pressure in the War Memorial Stadium press box. Sinks, toilets aren't working at all. Neither is the water fountain, and the AC has stopped working.
If that's the
call it dead on arrival.
This will be the last time that they play there.
They've done it 76 seasons there.
Yeah,
so.
they were very frustrated a year ago. I mean, at some point you're appeasing a segment of the fan base, I think, that you look at and go, look, we've got a perfectly good facility where we are. You can come or not come.
So I just announced it, navy, navy, white. So, yep, there you go. Look at you. 1 for 1.
How about that?
1 for 1.
It'd be like Ole Miss playing a game in Jackson. It's literally the same thing.
2.5, 3 hours away.
You would look at it and go, what are you doing? Stadium's a dump. No offense. It's antiquated. You have a much better facility where you are.
I used to always feel like that, like when Ole Miss played Memphis all the time, and you go to Liberty Bowl and do a game, and it's like the internet was out more than half the time.
Yeah, just old stadiums they're not invested in, as opposed to SEC stadiums, which even though a lot of the bones of SEC stadiums don't look so good, the infrastructure is pretty solid.
I would be stunned if Deion Smith even entertains trying to make it work for next year. Beyond stunned.
Yeah, no.
I know people have that question, and I understand it, but no way. Arkansas scored again.
Yeah, I feel safe in saying Pine Bluff is horrible. I did see someone, you could get an offshore line on this, was a first half line of 27.5, and someone goes, it's the bet of the day.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know enough about it to do it, but there was someone in the internet sphere who said,
feel confident
they said that is the surest bet of all time.
And it was 27 in the first
27.5 in the first half. The whole line was like 52.5, and they're like, don't bet the full line because they might quit.
But it's 21-0, 10 minutes in.
Yeah.
So they have 20 minutes to score 7 more points.
Yeah, I agree with this. Pine Bluff would lose to a handful of high school teams.
You think they'd lose to some of the top high school teams in Texas and stuff?
Oh, yeah. They might lose to some of the top high school teams in Mississippi. Totally serious. I mean, look at them.
They look so small.
And so slow. I mean, look at that.
Other than that, they're great.
I mean, yeah.
They're small, but they're slow.
Yeah, they're just getting manhandled. That doesn't
that does. It's like air.
Well, I mean, it's like these games like this. If you're watching to say, hey, what do I think about Arkansas? The answer is, I don't know. Nothing. I mean, they're doing what they're supposed to do against a team like that, but that doesn't mean anything. Now, on the flip side, if you're like a Wake Forest fan, this is probably distressing.
Oh, that's problematic.
Like if you're,
because you at least go, can we just be I'm not expecting a title, but can we just be okay?
Well, I think I told you.
And you look at this and go, we're not okay.
The ACC is 17 teams, and they're picked 15th, 16th. Yeah.
Their first 4 drives of the game, 3 punts, 1 touchdown, average third down, 8.2 yards.
Someone said Navy at night is an elite look. Is that sarcastic, I guess? It doesn't.
There are people that like the Navy a lot. Well, I personally do not, but
it's probably my least favorite of their uniforms, but you're playing Furman. It's not okay. It's not even televised.
But he didn't go navy gray. He doesn't like the gray pants.
He doesn't like the gray pants.
He doesn't.
Proof that Lane Kiffin can do no wrong.
Yeah.
Previous coaches.
He can hate the gray pants.
Previous coaches, when they were like, I hate these things, get rid of them. Everybody's like, no, it's tradition. Lane says, I don't like him, let's not do it. And everybody's like, you know what? He's right.
Regular size Ben, yeah, Oxford has a sophomore starting quarterback right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the Grand Jeans left.
Yeah, I don't know. The part about Knox was interesting.
It was interesting.
You know,
I mean we've heard that talk a good bit, but I don't know. Landry's a sophomore.
I hope he goes wherever is best for him. High school kid. Hope he does well.
Oh, you meant Knox. Thought you meant Lane.
Yeah, no, Knox. Look, I mean, I've said this on the show this morning, I think. I know I've said it before. The Venn diagram of programs where it makes sense for Lane.
It's tiny.
And where Lane would go.
Tiny.
Is really small. I mean, I'm almost to the point where I'm more interested in what might happen with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers or the Dallas Cowboys.
Mm-hmm. 10-2, 11-1, and then some NFL team goes, hey, he's changed.
Yeah. Or Tampa Bay does some deal where they go, you know.
Could make this work.
Yeah, Monty's son. Be a hell of a story in Tampa. He loves Florida. I mean, that's the kind of job at this point. I'm kind of more leaning that way than I am and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers wouldn't have a $25 million buyout. The Florida thing, I'm not sure Florida's a better job than Ole Miss.
FPI, by the way, gives Florida a 57% chance of winning on Saturday.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to make of that. He's okay. All right. I thought that guy was badly hurt for a second, but he was moving.
Kansas and Lindenwood off to a 0-0 start, a minute 21 in.
One of Ole Miss's basketball opponents.
Yeah, Lindenwood. Be a big game. Excited about that one.
St. Charles, Missouri have gone from NAIA to FCS.
How about that?
Mm-hmm.
Like Kennesaw State's FCS this year.
Yeah.
I passed by their campus the other day.
Did you?
Yeah. Apparently there's a lot of kids at Kennesaw State, which makes a lot of sense.
Sure.
Atlanta's kind of big.
Call that plays, bud.
I can see the Gators winning, like Grind says. Totally. I mean, what are we saying about the SEC? If Florida wins, Texas A&M wins, LSU wins, and Georgia just beats the out of Clemson. Welcome to the league.
Yeah, that becomes a
hello.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing, right? I mean, Arkansas is probably going to finish, 14th in the SEC?
Somewhere.
What would Arkansas do in the ACC?
6th.
I mean, they wouldn't be 14th.
No. Oh. Go. Touchdown.
Yeah.
Golden lines.
I will be interested on this play because I think he was out of bounds when he threw the ball.
Oh, is that what he's saying right now?
Yeah.
Yep, 4th down.
Yep. I thought his right foot was clearly in the out of bounds spot.
There's your highlight.
Let's see. Yep.
I mean, the Colorado social media team will turn that into a hell of a play, though. Laser.
They say turn on the.
They all knew it. Colorado.
Colorado.
North Dakota State.
All right, let's find them. Wake back in the lead. Wake's got it under control, baby. All right. Colorado's on normal TV, I would guess, right?
I guess. I don't know. I mean, you can still get it on the app, potentially, if it's an ESPN game.
Let's see.
I mean, Arkansas was just playing air.
Quite a turn for Pine Bluff there from 21
Punt return for a touchdown for the Hogs, and they are now covering in the first half.
Here we go, Colorado. And I'll turn this one to Missouri.
Cole says trivia: which Power 4 program has the fewest first-round NFL draft picks in history? They've had 2.
Fewest Power
4 program.
Okay, with fewest NFL draft picks?
Yeah.
First round picks?
Yeah, 2. I mean, is it Vanderbilt?
I can only think of.
Jamie Winborn, a first-round pick?
I can't remember. The quarterback Cutler was.
Oh,
was Matthews a first round pick?
Maybe. Grind says Arizona.
What about Wake?
Oh, maybe.
North Dakota State takes a 3-0 lead.
It's early.
It is.
Kicker's pumped up, though.
Sure. Did his job. He's not there to block.
All he
and
can do is
tackle.
put 3 on the board.
He's just there to make there to make kicks.
He can go sit down now.
His mom and dad breathe a sigh of relief.
Oh. I wouldn't want to be a kicker's dad.
No.
I'm out.
Like on penalty kicks, when he goes to do the penalty kick, I'm a basket.
And there's several of those. It's not one going up and that decides this bad
No.
boy.
Just a basket when that happens. Let's see a little Missouri, I guess. Let's see.
Oh, they started now?
Yeah.
Murray State, Missouri, 7-0 Tigers. Murray State was Ole Miss's opponent in Eli's first ever start.
Oh, is that right?
He set the school record for most completed passes in a row in that game. He would have had to go one more, and he threw the ball off Joe Gunn's helmet.
Oh.
Yes. It's kind of interesting to watch highlights about that entire 0-1 season because that's when the south end zone was being built. So you had all the construction going on down in the entire end down there.
That was the 7 overtime game?
That was, yes. Yeah.
They went to LSU and won. I remember that.
It's a 7-4 team that got passed over in the poll selection process by Alabama, who Ole Miss beat.
I remember that.
And they played.
I pissed people off as a columnist because I wrote that
Ole Miss deserved to go.
That Ole Miss deserved the bid. You can imagine how that went over in Mobile.
I want to say, this is my weird memory, I want to say maybe Alabama played Iowa State in the Independence Bowl that season.
Okay.
I'll look it up in a minute because I'm curious, but
okay.
I think that's right. Ole Miss played Vanderbilt on the rescheduled game in December after the.
Say what you will about Deion Sanders.
Okay.
That place is packed.
Oh, sure. No, I think Dart plays into the second half. I don't think they'll pull Dart at halftime.
No, they're going to play more than that. No, they're not going to run him in the second half.
Well, that's a good point.
Imagine that conversation's been had already.
2001 Alabama football, 14-13 Independence Bowl win over Iowa State.
There you go.
Dennis Franchione's first season.
Oh, I remember. And almost his last.
Carl Torbush and Les Kenning.
Yep.
7-5, 4-4. So 6-5 Alabama went to the Independence Bowl over 7-4 Ole Miss, who they lost to.
Makes sense.
It does, yes.
Yeah.
Played games at Bryant Denny and Legion Field that season.
Why Missouri goes the all black? That uniform would look so good with the white pant.
Or even a gold
Or
pant.
even a gold pant, a yellow pant that matches the stripe. I do like their helmet a lot.
You like the tiger thing?
I do.
I like their old Truman logo.
Yeah.
The cartoon tiger.
Yeah. Drinkwitz looks like he's put a few pounds on.
Did he?
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, I wanted to talk, but
He's content. He's happy.
yeah. I don't hate the Murray State uniform.
No, it's good.
Yeah, solid.
Which one are they using right now? The jockey and the M? Is that what they're going with? I can't see the logo close
I couldn't
enough.
tell.
Yeah, it's a jockey on a horse inside the M.
Oh.
What's wrong?
Nothing. I was just
Okay.
making sure that I wasn't missing calls. Oh, they score?
Yep.
Yeah.
Getting going early.
Not a big test here for the
No.
Tigers. I do think Missouri's going to be good. I think they're a legitimate playoff contender. Not based on this. I think they are. I think they're going to be a good team.
I really like those Murray suits the more I'm thinking about it.
Yeah,
They didn't overcomplicate it. It's
no,
a good
they're
logo.
nice. Yeah,
the white
they're
on
nice.
white on white's good.
Yeah. I mean, that is a packed house in Boulder.
Oh, look.
I mean, credit.
Yeah, that's not the problem.
It was empty before him. Just dead.
They have such the athleticism edge.
Well, that kid.
Well, fair.
That kid's best player.
On everyone.
He's best player of the country.
Yeah.
All right. If anybody wants to make a call, now's the time. We're going to shut it down here soon. It's been a pretty long day at MPW Digital. We will have a post-game show right after Ole Miss and Furman on Saturday. Kicks at 6. Hey, who do we have? Hey, who do we have?
Hey, guys, it's Corey in Tupelo.
Hey, Corey, what's up?
Nothing much, guys. First of all, I want to thank you guys for all the hard work that you do. As a traveling salesperson, I spend hours upon hours in North Mississippi traveling, as far as South Haven and as far south as Louisville. So your content that you guys crank out each and every day, with Blue Sky Live show each morning, and then Hand Raised Guys and Siski and McCready. Love all the content,
Thank
the
you.
Josh Hendrickson show, really good, informative information. I just was a little curious. I wish I'd been more involved with some of the content that you guys were putting out in the pandemic. Unfortunately, I wasn't a subscriber, which I am now. I'm still paying the same price that was going on during the Truman administration,
Yes.
$9.99. Yeah, absolutely. But no, I wanted to get a little backstory and a little history on, how you guys decided to go with the streaming and the pods and really created the forte that you guys have now with all the different, shows. So if you could take me back a little bit, because I always love it when you guys have our favorite resident up in Memphis join in on Thursday. Just tell me a little bit about kind of how it all got started and how it's been so successful. If you don't mind, I'll hang up and listen. Thanks for all you guys do.
Thank you, Corey. The podcast got started because Neal was back. Probably, date him and probably make him emotional. He was doing carpool line, dropping kids off back in the day. And he would call and we'd talk about whatever and what was going on with the day, just like now, but then just kind of keep talking and start whatever. And he thought, hey, if we recorded this, would anybody listen? Kind of came out of nowhere. And the very first thing, I'm sure a lot of you guys probably were there. It was more than 10, 11, 12 years ago. and it was bad internet and rudimentary, and the sound wasn't good. And we used this thing called TalkShoe, which sounded like dial-up internet at the beginning of it. The intro was all TalkShoe coded stuff at the beginning, and did it weekly. Just kind of kept doing it. Some of you guys started listening, and a few more, and then Ole Miss got good at football. And I think when that happened through the freeze and the 2013 class, started getting some sponsors. We linked up with Ben Craddock in 2013, and I've always told the story. Our first ever sponsor was Pro Bull Riding. We did a 2-month hit because a pro bull riding event was coming to Tupelo.
I remember that.
We had a cowboy named Billy Robinson on the show.
Vaguely remember.
We talked to Wright about the bull Bushwhacker because he was doing a feature on Bushwhacker, the unrideable bull that was going to be in Tupelo.
Oh yes.
For this thing, and then it went from there. And then, I mean, as a lot of people know, when Jeffrey did join us, he completely changed what we're able to do from an audio standpoint.
Jeffrey challenged us. Jeffrey challenged us. He said that you've got to modernize. You've got to get a sound system. You've got to make it better. God, Missouri's just killing them. He said you've got to invest. And we did. And we started going to his place, and we would do it every morning. And then when Jeffrey left to go to Memphis, I think we kind of had some soul searching. Like, okay, well, we
got to learn it.
We're going to have to learn it now. And Chase learned it first, and then we started streaming. We started doing the post-game stuff even in 19. Ole Miss was bad.
It was midway. Missouri 19 was the first game.
Yeah. And so we did that. And then when the pandemic hit, I had this fear that there wasn't going to be a football season. And it was our living. And I just said, let's go. We should go all in. And so that's basically what we did. I made a huge equipment investment. And then obviously 2020 season rolled around, and they, thank God, played, but there was no access at all. And so we just went heavy with streaming, and kind of branched out and started doing other things. I was like, hey, what if there's no football season? We're going to have to talk about other stuff because there's not going to be football season to talk about. We're going to have to survive it. I wasn't thinking we would thrive, but I was like, we'll survive. And just over the years, I think, and in 2020, I learned how to do some of the more technical stuff. I got better at it. And it's just kind of gone from there. And I think what's happened is we got to where we just weren't really afraid to fail something. Chase has done the bourbon show, and I did the beer garden, and I did the Josh Hendrickson show.
I did a food show back in the day with Jeffrey. I mean, like, you just
try stuff.
You try it, and you go, it didn't work. Okay, moving on to the next thing.
I mean, we started season 5 of basically the Greg Jones show, where he competes against my daughters and picking games, and that was a 2021. I just asked Greg, hey,
what you think?
What do you think? And he's like, let's do it. And I was like, okay. And so we did it. And look, it's not a mainstream show. It's not a show that tons of people listen to or watch or whatnot, but there's probably not a week that's gone by in the 4 years that we've done that I haven't gotten something from typically a female listener that goes, I just love that show. It makes me laugh. And that's good. It's 30 minutes out of the week that, and then like today, that led right into the show with Pete. And
180 from each other.
Yeah, and people just kind of different shows, and I don't know. I think it's probably a long-winded answer, but just kind of tried different things. I think we'll continue to try different things, and some stuff won't work, and some stuff will, and we'll just go from there, because football season's easy, but football season's not year-round, and you have to have some other types of content. You can't just be a hardcore nothing but Ole Miss show. I think I don't think we would, if that's what we did, I don't think we would have had the success that we've had. I really don't.
Well, yeah, because you start learning and talking. I mean, try to have some fun. I mean, there has to be an entertainment part of it, and that's impossible if it's simply the the linebacker every single day. At some point, nobody cares. Braves 4-0 on the Phillies.
Yeah,
top 6.
You know, like we had a recruiting show for a while. I don't know that you could do a recruiting show right now because the portal is such a big thing. You know, I think you could have a portal show every day for 3 weeks, 4 weeks. I think things have changed. I think one of our strengths, we certainly have our weaknesses, but I think one of our strengths is adaptability. I mean, the show that I'm doing with Tyler, and listen, Tyler deserves 90% of the credit for this, and Cole Catalano, who does our social media, probably deserves 9%, and I probably get 1%. But that show's over 60,000 TikTok followers. It's really remarkable. And, I mean, Tyler's just done a great job of marketing himself. Here's a former football coach and recruiting coordinator who's running a business that caters to football programs, and he's been able to find his voice as a entertainer / media person. I mean, he's really remarkable at what he does. And he did that show for a while. And that's an example. I was like, hey, can we put that show on the network? And he was like, yeah. And so we put it on, and then he and I started doing a show, and we're 201 episodes in now. So I guess that's, and we've done other things that didn't work. I mean, we had the show with, I guess, Chris Landry that didn't work. We've done some stuff that just kind of failed. So had stuff that ran its course.
We are having more MPW Digital social media. Actually, including, I was going to write this tomorrow on the board, but go and say it now. Including an intern that we have is working for me and us for a few months now, Kennedy Barker. She's going to go out in the Grove, talk to some fans and stuff, put some stuff on our Instagram account. There is a TikTok account built now, just now kind of getting started as well, as we're trying to enhance a lot of those social media. So it's MPW Digital, all lowercase, on Instagram for sure. So go follow it, but bring you some things from during the game on Saturday, and then more as that is kind of getting going. I cut a clip of Neal from the wedding this morning, talking about weddings this morning. We're going to start clipping some of those different things too every day. So yeah, do me a favor. We mentioned the YouTube streams. We're trying to get to 10,000. That would really help us. Subscribe there, but also just go over to Instagram, MPW Digital.
Did we get to 8 today? We were pushing 8 hard.
Okay.
Today, like we were closing in on 8,000. No, we're still at 7, still just shy of 8.
So let's get over 8 by the kickoff on Saturday, and then we can go from there.
Oops. Sorry. So anyway, yeah, it was kind of fun. We're thinking about doing something else right now. I don't want to dive into it, but that would allow us to do a couple of things from an advertising standpoint that will. I think that's the other thing we've done. I think Chase would agree with this, is we've explained decisions that we've made, because I think people feel like they have some ownership in it, which is good. I'm glad that they feel that way.
Well, especially the trust in us when we use one feed. You have to know you're getting some level of quality content that we believe in the feed, and we're not just filling you up. Like there is a purpose behind everything that is going at that point. So yeah, I think there is that.
So North Dakota State just scored. This game's got interesting written all over it.
That line closed at 9.5.
It feels like a big game for Dion.
It does.
I mean, they didn't do well in the Pac-12.
No.
All right, we'll wrap it there. Thanks to everyone for being in the stream, not just in this show, but throughout the day. Really appreciate it. Had big crowds at even some of the pre-tape stuff. So it was really, really cool to see everybody there. Hope you enjoyed all the programming as the football is underway. Lots of games going on right now, and we'll talk about them on Saturday. Again, we'll have a post-game show, Furman and Ole Miss, that game at 6:00 at Vaught-Hemingway. I'll have coverage from the stadium, and then I'll join Chase on the show after I get back up to the press box. Mm-hmm. And then another full week of we won't have I don't know what I can't do Monday morning.
We'll have a show. Y'all figure it out. Yeah.
We'll have something, but a full week of MPW Digital programming next week, as well as we'll start turning the page to Middle Tennessee for Chase Parham. I'm Neal McCready. Again, thanks to all the people at Comer and Southern for sponsoring this week after week after week. Really appreciate it. Talk to you guys on Saturday. Have a good one.